Hey, I'm Charlie from Mediocracy, and this week I recommend that you play the Marathon Trilogy by Bungie. Before Destiny and before Halo, Bungie released the Marathon Trilogy. The three games are Marathon 1, 2, and Infinity, respectively. Despite the fact that the Marathon Trilogy was released in the mid-90s, these games are absolute must-play titles for Bungie fans and any FPS fan. And on top of that, they're absolutely free. So let's get right into it. Gameplay is similar to other 90s FPS games, and in that regard, it's still pretty solid. Of course, Marathon is nothing like a modern FPS, but it does have a variety of weapons and different enemy types to keep the experience from getting boring. If you're someone like me who got into Marathon after playing the Halo series, you'll notice all sorts of design similarities. For example, enemies have tiers, and their ranks are signified by the color of their armor, so it seems familiar, right? Now, even though the gameplay is limited by the technology of its day, that's not really a barrier to having fun in Marathon. Compared to other titles like Doom, I would actually say that it's aged very well over the years because Bungie was very forward-thinking when they designed these games. You could even say that the gameplay of the Marathon Trilogy was the kind of prototype for the gameplay that's found in the Halo universe. I mean, look at this following video. If you don't really get the sense of similarity, you can at least tell that the game looks pretty fun. Since I'm already comparing it to Halo, you know the gameplay is solid. We've seen how this gameplay style has kind of evolved from the original Marathon to Halo Reach. Now, despite the comparisons that can be made, Marathon itself is quite unique, especially for its time. All the games, but especially the first, have a really ominous and dark atmosphere. The Marathon games are famous for their exploration-based level design, and some of the hallways, some of the corridors can be really creepy, really eerie, flashing lights, you don't know what's hiding behind the next corner, there's enemies waiting to ambush you. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that the game's a horror game, but I am trying to say that there's this definite sense of having a weight on your shoulders and having something just looming in the background, some larger alien threat, and that makes Marathon's atmosphere absolutely amazing. Another thing that's pretty interesting about Marathon is the terminal-based storytelling. So, throughout the game you converse with AI, and you access them through terminals. Now, it's really interesting because the AI are not just soulless, lifeless computers, but they have real personalities. And I really enjoy the writing, I really enjoy seeing the difference in tone between one AI versus the next. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but the story does get quite involved, and there are even debates going on about certain aspects of the Marathon story even today. There's no doubt that the upcoming Destiny will also have a lot of allusions to Marathon in it, if not more. If you're the kind of person who's just itching and just wants to get their hands on more content for Destiny, and you still haven't played Marathon, well, don't wait, just do it right now. For all you fans of FPS games, if you want to see the predecessor to one of the genre's defining game, then you should definitely try Marathon.